I myself had gone to Srinagar on the 22nd of May this year to address a public meeting in Lal Chowk. Not after Indira Gandhi, any Hindu has addressed a public meeting in Lal Chowk. I addressed it as Janata Party president, and there was a big hall in which maybe 3,000 Muslims of the valley had attended. And what they told me was this, that we subscribe to everything you say, but we are being told by the terrorists that the Hindus will ultimately give up Kashmir. They did it with Pakistan, they will do it now. They have, Hindus have kept quiet when we have when the militants drove out 500,000 Kashmiri Pandits out of it. And then there's the other side also, that in Gujarat, for all they have said, every 3 months there used to be a major riot in Gujarat since 1963. But after Modi coming, there has not been a single riot for the last 12 years. Now, how do you explain that? I think the problem is not with Muslim. The problem is with the Hindu. He's a confused mind, you see. We get divided on caste basis, language basis, all kinds of things. So I think if you want to remove these differences, you must have a strong Hindu leadership who can tell the Muslim community that if there's ever a riot, we will be standing in the middle. We will not allow it. This is what Modi has done. He said, no, I will not tolerate any riots. And therefore there will be no riots. If the Hindu community knows there's a strong leader who's a Hindu leader, and he says no riots, then they will obey. But if he thinks that, oh, this man is a chapaloose, you see, he's a sycophant to the Muslim community, they will not listen. That's why in Muzaffarnagar, the Jats felt that they have to take the law into their own hands. So the answer to your question is a united Hindu community, and not maybe all 80%, but even half of that, 40%, it's a big number. 40% can get you elected with an absolute majority in parliament. So the answer is that Hindus must first demonstrate unity. And then the leadership must be strong, that no one can take law into their own hands. If you take law into your hands, we will punish you. We don't care if you are a Hindu. But if you take law into your own hands, we will punish you. And deliver that confidence to the Muslim community that any time there's an unfairness to you, we Hindu leadership will stand up to support you. Then I think these things won't happen.
Swamy, interestingly, recently there have been some intellectuals,
Yes.
well-decorated intellectuals, and
Yes.
probably they come from Hindu background also,
Yeah.
who has come up with these kind of statements that if Narendra Modi becomes Prime Minister,
Yeah.
I'm not going to live in India.
Well, we have 1 billion plus people. Somebody wants to leave is welcome. Ours is a free country. Article 19 guarantees freedom of travel. So I want to go. I'd like to see you where you are better treated than in India.
What you said is, of course, an obvious way of responding.
Yeah.
But why he comes up with these kind of ideas?
I think, you see, I'll tell you, there's a problem. Jawaharlal Nehru created a new class of secular Indians, as it's called. Now, what does this secularism mean? I mean, here is a religion which says that all religions lead to God. Now, who can be more secular than that? So what is it, the meaning of secular? The one who favors Muslims at the expense of Hindu, he's secular. That's how it is slowly becoming like this. And that's why a man like Manmohan Singh says that the first charge on resources is for Muslims. So we believe secular means non-discrimination on the basis of religion. We will not discriminate against an engineer because he's a Muslim. And it requires a strong Hindu leadership to ensure that a Muslim engineer who is qualified is not discriminated because he's a Hindu, because he's a Muslim. So this new class of intellectuals who have grown up with I call them as the Nehruvian secularists, they are feeling uncomfortable because they don't want to own up their Hindu identity. And therefore they feel that Modi comes and the whole country will rise as one to accept what is always true, that is the mainstream culture of India is Hindu.
Yes. How do you see NRIs are resonating with the message of Modi, and what role do you envisage
Oh, yeah, Modi is wildly popular in NRIs. I mean, look at even his digital presentations, what a euphoria there is. No, he has got the imagination of the tech-savvy, highly paid young professionals of NRI origins in the United States. Now, many of them talk to me saying that they want to come and do something in the election. So I tell them, see, you going and giving speeches has no value, because the system is such that you will not be able to speak in the idiom of the ordinary people. And the party workers also who have to arrange your program, they will be not enthusiastic. For their own leaders, they'll be enthusiastic. But somebody's coming from America, iske liye bhi kar do, they'll not do it. What the NRIs can do is 2-3 things. One is, we need to know how to solve major problems of India. Number one, to get a power system which delivers electricity to 100% of Indians, to 100% of Indian households, and it has a stable voltage, and that kind of power systems. How it can be designed, who we should bring in, whether it should be turnkey, whether it should be a joint venture. These things are something with our NRIs got brains in this country. They work in very important corporations. They can produce a 4-page paper, and we have a committee headed now by Mr. Nitin Gadkari on vision document. We need it. Second, we have this problem, 85% of our petrol, crude oil is coming from abroad, and it's a huge drain on our resources. So can we find some substitutes? And the answer is yes, there are shale oil substitutes, then there is hydrogen fuel cells. The Americans are not interested in hydrogen fuel cells because they got plenty of oil. They put them all in underground tanks. So the oil companies will not allow research to, but we can do it. We can, therefore, the technology of hydrogen fuel cells, how can we make it commercially viable in India? This also the NRIs can help us. The third thing is, somebody wants the excitement of fighting elections. Well, then I would suggest that you go and settle down, and where you are, there will be 1, 2, maybe 3 polling booth areas within your reach. Each polling booth has 1,000 votes, and get hold of the voter list, and then tick off, go to each house as given the addresses, given the voter list, and check whether the voter is actually there, or he is dead, whether he is migrated. Give a sanitized voter list to the BJP, and the BJP worker who is sitting in the polling booth, when some Ram Saran comes and says, I am a voter, our party worker will say, hey, you can't be a voter, Ram Saran died 6 months ago. That way, you see, to get a free and fair voting. I think this is a role they can play.
You have mentioned some very important points, but I would again come back to you with the same question, and with some sort of a blueprint for NRIs who are not so closely aware about Indian setting, but they have some feeling that...
I'm telling you, the feeling is that we want to do something where winning elections, there's nothing much. I think we are going to win it hands down, the way the present trends are continuing. I think what we need is that once we come to power, we should be able to do, like for instance, when Narasimha Rao came to power, I had already done in the Chandrasekhar government, I prepared the blueprints. And that time, by the way, Manmohan Singh was my economic advisor. He was a bureaucrat. And Montek Singh was my commerce secretary. So we prepared the blueprints, and as soon as Narasimha Rao came, he asked me, can you give me the blueprints? I'm going to create a commission with cabinet rank, and you will be on WTO, you will be the chairman of that committee with cabinet rank, and you can always participate in our cabinet meetings. So those blueprints immediately he executed. So the same way you come to power, we want to do a few things. We want to link all the rivers, because there are rivers that flood and there are rivers which are deficit. We want a power system which gives you guaranteed power. We want a road system which is world class. And this will attract foreign direct investment. And which, China is able to do that. So these 5-6 things we need from NRIs, because they are positioned here. And then, of course, to build a software network, particularly in the design area, where we have not gone in yet. Yet today we produce very good software, like blue-collar workers. But we need new research on design, like, we need brand names like Microsoft. We should have an Indian who does what Microsoft has done. So those are the areas where NRIs can contribute.